Good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show, and this morning our focus will be on the US market. As many of you have known or probably been following, we did get a green pentagon for the US S&P 500, and that's very positive going at this time, which does mean, which I already said before, if you look back to some of my talk that I done on Wednesday about the US market, this market is ready to move higher. Now my question to you, are you ready to move higher with the market, which have shown previously from July to August has been one of the strongest months going forward. So catch us more in our breakfast show, both for Bursa market as the US market. But this morning, our focus will be on the US market. All right, let's get started. Now, of course, all our stock trade idea, as you can see, we are regulated by the Securities Commission, is guided by our Pentagon Guider, which is mainly has been our algo driven, right? And it's pretty good result. I don't say we win all the time, right? And those stats I will also show you then, but it does work. As you can see, all you gotta do is one of the main easiest part is to look into the Pentagon Guider, which is a stock trade idea that we have in our chart here. So click on that. And here, so you can see some of our members who's using it and made about 8% return from a US market. You can see from here the green pentagon, the market, he took profit here just before the red pentagon. He took the what we call the TP1 as either that or his own specific TP. Then we have the winner for our campaign that been running, which is a Malaysian stock, Netgate, Yi Ting Kiong, about a 19.5% profit, traded with the RHB investment. This is a real trade, so that's a good 20% gain for that one in here. Congratulations to Mr. Yi in here. And of course, we want to share with you also all our bots currently, we do run them concurrently with our trading bots. So you can see that last year the result was pretty good, 11.4%. Then this year we did have our SmartRobie. This is the 50,000 ringgit voucher account. It's about 2% so far. All right, so this is why we show you this in live sequence right now in here. Okay. Now on our US side, since we are talking about US, this morning I'm going to share with you with the win rate. You could see back in January it's about 72%, February was 46, 37. We did see the a lot of trades will open up on March. Then we have the what we call the Liberation Day by Donald Trump on the April 6th, and that market really collapsed. But April picked back up. This is May and June. We just opened up those trades. We haven't closed it yet. All right, but averaging, if you look back, it's about less than 60% in here. Now, how to use SmartRobie? As I said before, the way we wanted to share with our member is usually we look at the stock trade idea, what you want to do with it, all right? And then you also want to analyze with the stocks. Now, there's a lot of tutorial how to trade those stocks, but here I want to share with you how you can get started and getting into the analysis part. A lot of time people, if they don't know the process, they will probably buy some stocks that is based on their friends, and then they lose money, they don't understand. So this is where you want to do that stock analysis, like the big, binoculars, not binoculars, the magnifying glass, and check them out. And of course, some stocks that you like Nvidia is hitting new high, we can also check that out. Is the stock watch list, right? There's a Pentagon Guider alert. Set it in there. When you get that green Pentagon, that's where you want to go. And a lot of stock trade idea come from Pentagon, right? So Pentagon Guider, that's where your trade idea is. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to pencil that in here. So this morning, our focus will be on the US market. You can see here, US market certainly making its round right in here. And we want to check out the Pentagon Guider, which is part of our volume spread analysis algorithm. So we will look at our tutorial this morning, and we're going to look at the S&P 500. All right. So if you look back at the S&P 500, let me just bring up my chart here. And I want to show you this. So we can see the S&P 500. If I just scroll up, you can see I can scroll it. Click on the S&P 500. We want to look at the chart because the chart has actually turned green Pentagon. Don't trust me for that, but look into the chart, right? Charts don't lie. So I'm going to switch this back, and you can see the chart just turned green Pentagon actually on the 26th of June. I believe that was a Thursday. So that already done. Today is 30th. So again, like what we predicted, based on the seasonality for the July will be likely to be bullish all the way to August. So this is the month that you want to ride this market. And why don't people talk about seasonality? It's something that keep repeating and keep repeating. Is good. It's so easy to understand. It's just that if people know about it, they don't want, people won't read those news, right? And that's why we bring it to you from our SmartRobie seasonality, as well as our Wednesday talk that we have here. So let's close that one again. So you can see from here, we have a few stocks that I want to share with you. Okay, let's bring it up again. So we done the show you the bullishness of the S&P 500, right? So we're gonna look at the remember we have the Robie FA list. That's a fundamental stocks. The trending one is for advanced, which is just top of my head here. Then you have the Pentagon Guider. Oh, this one here. Pentagon Guider, that's the one that is we'll be looking at. All right, the others you can check it out for our advance. For our onboarding tutorial that we want to share with you here is to keep it to the Pentagon Guider SmartRobie in here. All right, so we can check from here. Let's look at the S&P 500 market today. We done that already, and we're gonna look at the Pentagon Guider. Alright, we done that one for the first time to talk. Now, if you look back into our menu options, okay, just want to share with you the menu options. We have the US market today, alright, which is the S&P 500. Then we have the Robie FA list. These are the lists, the main menu. The green box that you see, which I've showed week and week again just above here, are generally the main menu in here. So there's only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then inside there are some sub features or information that you can use. It's pretty easy to use, but our focus will be on Pentagon. All right, so we done the US market, and if you look at the KLCI market, sorry, this is the US market. It's about the same as the KLCI market. We will be focusing on the Pentagon Guider. All right, so here we go. The Pentagon Guider will show you about 10 to 12 stocks that we look at. All right, so let me just bring it up and hit on the Pentagon Guider. You can see Pentagon Guider, just move aside here, and we have almost 15. Now I've selected 3 for you, so we'll be talking about those. And what I've done, I have also prepared a Google Sheet, okay? A Google Sheet where you'll learn to take those information, and part of it is that you want to use the information, both the AI insight, both the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, as well as the sentiment, to build your decision whether you want to trade or not. So this is a whole process to doing it, and if you do that process right, I'm sure the result will also come too. So if you look from the Pentagon Guider here, we have NNet Arista Network, which is traded at 101. We have DAC traded at 104 US dollar. Then we have the Invesco, Williams Sonoma, Boeing. Now remember, all these stocks are S&P 500. We choose the S&P 500 because they are the most liquid and they are most investable and tradable grade here. All right. Then we have Hewlett Packard, HP, Compaq. They no more. The Compaq has been dropped off already. We have Moderna, KMI, FXX. We got Synopsys, Booking. Now, all of these stocks, I'm going to share with you 3 that I find predominantly make a lot of sense. Okay, let me just get down to this. Now, this is a Google Sheet, so let me just show it to you in here. All right, you can take a picture of this. We will get the Google Sheet so you can follow along with me. Then you can key in those information that we talk about. The whole process of it is to document how you make decision. A lot of us retailer, we tend to make a trade and then we forget about it. There is no learning mechanism. So guess what? You keep making the same mistake and same mistake. And then by the time sometimes I ask people, did you make any money? No, I didn't make any money. Because that process needs to be, because you did not take what we call a learning approach. So with this Google Sheet, I'm going to share with you how we're going to be doing that. Let me just bring it up. So the Google Sheet that we have here is this one. You can see on top of me here. So we did last week. Okay, last week was our breakfast show. We did talk about those 3 stocks that we pick up for it. So we're going to be reviewing that, which is also part of my agenda. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go back there. And this one is here. So we're going to be looking into the Google Sheet here. So last week we have SciComm. Okay, Pentagon came out on the 20th. We got Bursa. Pentagon came out on the 20th or so. This was last week. Carlsberg, 20th. And we'll be doing this column for the US market. But just one of the things that we want to do is that we monitor the progress. Okay, we monitor the progress, those stocks that we have talked about or we have discussed in. So SciComm, right? And you can see from here on the column N. That's a column N here. I will check with this stock next week. That was last week. So SciComm is up 5%. since the green Pentagon, there were 2 line change and it did move higher than the Pentagon entry price. So let's take a SICOM, SCICMO. Okay, and you can see green Pentagon was here, market started to move up, and that's good. And of course, many of you will probably say, can I enter now? But that's not where the entry is, because if you look back on the buy call, all right, we actually have a valid date, all right, valid date, and you carry it for 3 to 4 weeks from now. Okay, there's a TP at 92.5 cents. Did it hit it yet? No. Now it's about, this morning we are at 90.5 cents, so probably another 2 cents it will hit your TP in here. All right, 3 to 4 weeks stop loss at 79 cents. All right, and entry price is below 885. That's why we want all our users, those of you listening to this tutorial, to follow this very closely. If not, at least do this analysis sheet. All right, because we have a lot of information these days. We have the LMM model like your chatbot, and those will really willing to help you. But the problem is we need to record all this, right? Because the chatbot will not able to record all this. So you can see last week Trump bombed Tehran, fearful, right? That was the current sentiment. Then we have the KLCI was still red Pentagon. Then we have the L1, the first level of analysis just based on the AI sentiment, the FA as well as the TA. Okay. Then the second level of analysis is looking at the historical win rate, which you can get it from the stock chart, stock comment in the SmartRobie app. So that's 40%, 50%, and 44%. Generally, we want to look above the 40%. So right now, this is, no, I need to change this. This is Carlsberg. Okay. So next one, we look at Bursa, which we talked about it last week. So at least we can see some of those results. Now, Bursa last week went up, and usually if you see a widespread bar like this, usually the market's not going to follow through. And Bursa is also one of the big market. You can see the market will immediately pull back, but that looks pretty good because overall US market is going higher. Next is Carlsberg. Now the whole purpose of doing this is to inoculate analysis mindset for those of you who want to take it to the next level. Okay, generally people just like to trade on tips, but if they don't know what they are buying, and that's where the big issue I find it. So I want to bring this process. Why can't I find this? Malaysia, Carlsberg. Is that Malaysia? Check stock price here. Okay, let me see. What is the stock code for Carlsberg? CARBSD. Okay, CA. Now, sometimes if I can't get it, then I just go on to stock. Or you can just go on to the SmartRobie, which I'll just show you, maybe much easier. Right, I just go on to the SmartRobie here, bring up the stock, click on to Malaysia, Bursa, right, click on to Bursa, no, Carlsberg, it's Carlsberg. Yeah, CALSBG. Okay, and you can see from there stock chart, stock comment, and I'll just rotate this, and you can see from the chart itself, after the widespread bar on the green Pentagon that you see in here, all right, the market did not follow through, but no doubt it's holding on in here, because generally what we found that many of the stocks, right, are ready to move higher, but we don't have that foreign funds coming in. So when you don't have that kind of foreign fund coming in, it's unlikely the big cap stock like Carlsberg and Bursa is going to move up. SICOM has a nice follow through because that's much easier to push than the others. Alright, so we're done with the location of looking the past last week. Let's take a look at this week. Okay, this week, what are the stocks that I'm looking at? So we go back to here, and remember, let me just bring up the Pentagon Guider for the US market. Alright, and I'm going to go on to Pentagon Guider, hit that one, and you can see I have many options, about 12. I generally pick those stocks that I'm kind of familiar with. If not, I can do a bit of research. So the first one is ANET. You can see from here I've done the stock ANET, KMI, and Booking.com. So first thing is that the Pentagon date is 26. So how do I know that? You can see on my SmartRobie, it's ANET is down 2.2%, which is fine, right? And because that one turned Green Pentagon on the 26th. Today is the 30th. Alright, so what do? They do technology sectors. So if you want to find out more about what they do, I go to ANET and I go to Stock Fundamentals. Right, and I can click on to the website, arista.com. Alright, so that gives me some, so especially those of you who are quite new in US, this is actually a good. So they are into AI networking. So that's pretty good. I like that, and that's very positive. So, okay, that's one. And we'll just do one. The rest you can do it yourself. It's the same kind of process that we're doing. So AI sentiment, I check it from the news. You can see from here. So you can check it from here. The news AI is also positive. The FA ratings, you can see from here. 2 out of 8. The higher, the better. All right. TA, Pentagon flow. All right. Where that come from? That will be from the stocks chart, stock comment. 88. Generally, the bigger the number, there are more bullishness in here. 88% is pretty good. So level 1 means my analysis, can I make a decision on this? Yes. Right. One of the reasons why is because I also have the chart. All right. So I can look at the chart, which I'm going to share with you right now. I will bring around the stock chart, stock comment. Hit this, and I'm going to swing the chart upside down. So you can see from here a very nice. Now what I like about this chart, you can see market did test back the $87 in here, right? The 87 with the 2-bar reversal on this chart here. You can see the 2-bar reversal on this chart. Let me see my mouse. Yeah, the 2-bar reversal on this mouse here. So that's a very good thing. And you can see at 87, this was at 87 now, and then finally turned green Pentagon. And also important, we also compare back to, let me just share with you here, right, the S&P 500. The S&P, let me just move this to the right hand side, you can see better. Okay, so S&P 500 also turned green Pentagon. So that's why we see the green Pentagon earlier first, all right? So historical win rate comes from our stock chart, stock comment. That's a 61.5% return. Pretty good, right? As you can see before, earlier on I'll show you all the win rates for our US is about less than 60%. So this 60% is pretty good. And generally, we want something that is more than 40%. So that's good. So US S&P 500 is green Pentagon. Current market sentiment. Then this is something that you can read generally the headlines of Bloomberg or CNBC just to get a feel of it, and that's pretty good. So current market sentiment is positive because there is a talk of rate cuts, probably 2 for the remaining of the second half of 2025. I'll talk more about this on Wednesday. Then also Trump pop up the idea of replacing the retiring FOMC chairperson in about 11 months, which is far away, right? And that's giving it this market pop, and it should able to run from here onwards. Now the buy call, okay, let's take a look at the buy call. How do I get that? And you just want to go back to the chart here. Let me just pull a bit more to this side so you can see. And what I did was I actually screenshot the chart and I put it over here. Alright, a screenshot. That's a bit of work, but it's good because you want to learn how to visualize those charts. You know, especially if this stock, as I said before, July and August, it will run for the next 2 months. This is the kind of chart pattern you want to learn as the market move higher from here. We're using the SmartRobie. Alright, so we have the first buy guide. Okay, let me just go on to ANET. We go down to trading plans, hit ANET. Okay, so from here you can see Arista network, buy call valid date is 26. Right, entry price is below 102.88. So you record that. Current price I think is also is down from the 102 price. So that's a very good entry at that level in here. Target profit at 107. Level 2 decision making is bullishness, and this is why we want to continue why the onboarding tutorial is to make you very, very good in making decision. Level 1 and then level 2 decision making. Alright, then we have the stop loss, yes, at $85. Alright, and generally the holding period is 6 to 8 weeks from the Pentagon date. So that allows you, the market, to make a run from here. Give it a bit of room for the market run. So that's the first one, ANET. KMI. So let's take a look at the KMI, since for the remaining time that we have. KMI is also oil and gas. Because of the tension that we see in the Middle East, we do get a lot of supply side on the oil and gas. okay, and the closing of the Hormuz Straits, which will push up the stock prices. So let's take a look at the Kinder Morgan. It's not the chocolate Kinder Morgan, huh? Kinder. Alright, so we are waiting for that one. And you can see this is definitely an energy company, keeping energy moving on natural gas. Alright, natural gas pipeline at $29. So it's a pretty good independent terminal operator. Strong, real 137, a lot of gas. Now, US use a lot of gas during the winter months for heating purposes. Okay, so that's now at least I understand. So I can up here. Here is gas producer. Okay, so this is where you get to know the stocks better. And this is one way you build your knowledge on the US market. Okay, so I'm just going to move more here. Then we have the rating 1 out of 8, not the best, but booking.com, which is one of the more common Agoda, you know, the Agoda, the Kayak, and also booking.com. These are the company that does it, and they're doing very, very well actually. 4 out of 8, the FA rating, right? TA analysis, level 1 is a yes to. 50% win rate. You look at the historical, right, and the remaining less, and also look at the chart. This is why I screen print the chart. You can see a lot of the charts are in a nice upward stage going up, and that's what you want to do, right? Build those in your analysis, and if you don't trade them, which is fine, then next week you'll come back and take a look at this. So remember where to get the spreadsheet, right? I've given you just now the QR code, and you can look back at the video and let's do it from here. So the whole point is to build what we call trading muscle, memory muscle, right? So last week we have this, and then next week you can come back, look at it, see how far it goes, did it hit it or not. And as I said before, the July and August time frame generally is a good month. More for the US market, we ought to see whether the Malaysian month will take up from here onwards. Okay, so this is the Google sheet. If you want to have it, go ahead. And I think this is a good exercise for all our SmartRobie users as well as our members to start building this, right? Because these days the AI insights are very smart. It can take a lot of those initial learning that you have, and all you need to do is to base this decision making to make a stock whether it's good or not. We have the green pentagon for the market timing, regulated by the SE, so that way it is compliance friendly. Alright, then we have the 6 options. You check it out in here, right? For example, Apple, you can go to stock chart, stock comment, which I've showed you just now. And don't forget our Pentagon Guider, which is the beginning of an uptrend. Hope we see those in the Kinder Morgan. We'll see that in booking as well as the we're done with the sharing. And for our Muslim friend, you can go to wahib.com and check out some of those stocks if they are halal or not. Alright, wahib.com/my halal. There's about 200 over stocks. So SmartRobie brought to you by Pentagon Guider, signaling the green pentagon for entry and exit with the patent approved by our Malaysian MYIOP. And don't forget, we also have the watch list, any of the US stocks, Malaysian, Hong Kong or Singapore stocks that you are looking at. When that had that green pentagon, you want to be notified in here. Green for up, red for down. Okay, we done we done all this. Alright, so that's all we have for this morning in here. Thank you for coming, and I hope that those stocks that we talk about will start to move up, just like those Malaysian stocks will move up. But generally most people are late into the market. Alright, that's something good. That's why Pentagon Guider with SmartRobie were able to get you in. Don't forget to check us out on the YouTube, get you ready in here. And as usual, if you have any stocks you want me to review, pencil those in there. I'm happy to do so, right? If not, that's all I have for this morning, and I'll see you on Wednesday. And don't forget to join our Telegram chat room for all our stock market information and also events that you are coming up, completely free. That's all. Bye-bye.